Memphis is the home of the blues, rock and roll, and Earl Farrell.
From the Collierville Square to the mighty Mississippi, the Earl Farrell for Memphis show is all about good things that happen across the Bluff City and the people who make Memphis cool.
The Earl Farrell for Memphis show is made possible by our title sponsor, Southern Security Federal Credit Union.
By Dive Shop and Dive Ventures nationwide. Jim Harris Chevrolet with George Gully. For Memphis Magazine, the Live at the Garden concert series, and the Orpheum Theater Group Memphis, and by Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, family owned and operated for more than 40 years, and brought to you by High-Low Commercial Services. Thank you to all the sponsors for making this possible.
And now, coming to you from Lansky Brothers, Clothier to the King, inside the world-famous Peabody Hotel, with the heart of a cowboy and Memphis in his soul. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Earl Farrell.
And thank you very much, and welcome to the show. Today we are at a remote location. In fact, we're at Rob and Beth Schaefer's house because I'm kind of under the weather. I don't know about you, but my allergies are killing me, and setting up for the show at the Peabody takes a lot of hands-on work, so we took the shortcut and came here today. And do want to remind everybody that we've just had a tremendous winter storm. Not that I have to remind you, if you were here, you know it. But it is something everybody I run into said, thank God that's over with. And while it may be for us here in Memphis and the Mid-South, up north in the Northeast, they're still dealing with it. And so I thought we would set a very defined contrast. And we're going to check in with my good friend Jim Elliot, who lives in Connecticut. He's outside his home, and take a look at the background where he is. It looks like exactly what it looked like here in Memphis. Good afternoon, Jim.
Well, hello, Earl. How you doing?
I'm a lot better than you are, but look at the door to your workshop right there. I mean, it's halfway up the door, and it's that way. How many inches have y'all?
I got a wall down my driveway, and so I have an upper yard, and it's completely covered. I've got, a backyard that's got probably 30-inch drifts in it in certain places, and it's here, and it's going to stay for a little while longer. It's supposed to be 50 this week, and then next week they're saying it might get to 60. So
wow.
We might actually get the snow out of here within 4 or 5 days.
You should be able to go. You'll have some rain in between, so it's not like you're escaping from it. It may melt some of it. I know when I lived in Canada, they burned coal up there for heat, and they'd have a nice fresh snow, 2 or 3 feet, and then everybody's furnaces would send that smoke up there, which then all the particles fall down. Then the snow turns black, and so
yeah, it does that here. I mean, you have this beautiful snow, and then it all piles up, and then everyone drives on it, and it gets really dirty. And the shopping center has a pile of snow that's 20 feet tall, and it has a black ring around the bottom. After a while, it's not charming at all.
In fact,
I'll tell you, when they used the term winter wonderland, that has worn out on me about 15 years ago.
I was going to say, how long after you moved to Connecticut did you say, this is enough, I've seen enough of this?
Well, I've never liked the cold. I'm just not a cold person. I'm born in Mississippi, lived in Memphis and West Memphis. I don't like the cold, and I'm not going to get used to it. Now, I'm much better than I used to be, but I was with a friend of mine from Memphis, Mike Dragus, and we went to Mammoth Cave, and we were out there one morning. It was had to be about 40, and some guy was standing there with shorts. But I saw an 80-year-old guy the other day who was wearing shorts on a day when it was 20 degrees. So people up here, they just don't think about it the way we do, which is, I don't really like it.
So you've had about 40 inches of rain so far, correct?
We've had
snow.
We've had 52 inches of snow.
Wow.
That's what the AI told me. Well, we got it snowed yesterday morning. And, it's fine if it snows 20 inches because I can deal with it, especially if it's a dry snow. But when it snows just kind of casually snows an inch and a half, 2 inches, that's almost as hard as 20 inches because you still got to get out and clean it all up,
Well, we do have some images. We're going to show a rolling shot that you shot. The roads are fine dry, but
Yeah.
You can't pull off the side of the road if you break down because there is no side of the road.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll have a pull off there, to the side of the road, but they're going to plow that last. You know what I mean? Like they got too much to do to be worrying about somebody doing a pull off on a road.
Absolutely. Rob, do you have the rolling shot?
Do you want the video?
Yeah, the bill. And then we'll show some of the still shots.
Here we go.
The edge of the road, there is no place. So if you break down, you just stop right there until somebody comes and fixes the problem, as it were.
Well, some of those houses have longer driveways, and so if you look, you'll see that at the edge of their driveway on both sides, those guys all have trucks with plows. Their edge of their road, looking out onto the road you're about to pull out on, the snow is piled up about 6 or 7 feet on both sides.
Wow.
So you really have to creep out very slowly to get out, to see anything.
You can't see everybody's coming. And then they also they block your drive. Coming down, the snowplows are coming down, shoving it all off to the right. So then you got to come back and clear your road again.
Well, for the first time in probably 6 or 7 years, the snowplow came down on a day that was real heavy, wet snow, the one from last week, and it knocked my mailbox off. And so my wife bungee corded it back on. It's going to be like that until it warms
Spring,
up. But
yeah.
I've noticed this year, I've seen a lot of people with their mailboxes knocked down.
We got some still shots. This one, is this you with the little hand snowplow making a trench up to your house?
Yeah.
And so,
Yes.
How fast does that work? I mean, how long does it take you to clear a path from the street to your house?
Well, basically what I do is just try to get one car out in case we have some kind of problem. So my driveway is about 50, 60 feet long, something like that. And it's asphalt. So I can actually get my first car dug out with a snowblower, making about 6 or 7 passes. I can probably do it in about 10 to 15 minutes. It's not hard. And my snowblower drives itself, so...
Oh, you're not even pushing it.
Yeah, so no, I'm not pushing it. So, you just have to get used to how it works and just take your time and do it,
We're showing a shot of your screened-in porch, which... Does it just get covered with snow? So basically it looks like you're snowed in with the snow attaching to the screen.
What happened was my screens down on one end actually blew in. One of them blew loose at the bottom and let the snow in, and the other one actually fell out of the upper, the upper half of the porch, and then the whole porch got covered with snow. So I had to go out there and sweep all the snow out of the porch, just because I don't want it melting onto the floor of the porch.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a shot, I guess, out the living room window, or maybe your car, but just shows.
Does it have the Eiffel Tower at the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, that's out of my second floor office window. That's looking at the snow that was piled up on my garage, and that roof of my garage is about 3 feet below. So you can see the snow is piled all the way up to the window.
Yeah,
I have a snow rake to rake snow off my roof.
Well, that's what I should have done. I just didn't think my whole roof was going to collapse on my deck.
Yeah, that's right. You had a bad situation. Is that what did it? The snow knocked it down?
Yeah, the weight of it. So it was just tremendous. Right behind you is your cars, your pickup truck, your classic pickup truck, and then Marnie's car. But your electric car is right there on charge. Yeah. How does it? Because everybody says electric cars are no good in the snow, no good in the cold weather. Have you noticed any difference in the
No, but I charge it every night. It's charged. So when I come out every day, I charge it to 80%. And so I take it out and I drive around. I do 30 or 40 miles. I come home, I got 65%. So I just don't have a problem with that. I think that was overblown. I think that's just like the electric car fires.
Yeah.
That was all you heard about for years. You know what I mean? For a couple of years. And then that big boat that was in like...
had all the cars on board.
And it turned out that none of them were electric cars, and now it turns out that gas cars have 10 times the fires of electric cars. It's just media.
Yeah.
It's just the media. Yeah.
Yeah, we know. We came from the media. We know what they do.
Well, we've seen how they've changed.
Yes. There was a merger the other day, AI and
XAI and SpaceX.
What will that mean to anybody? You're a big shareholder. You totally believe in Elon. Do you just see this thing getting bigger and bigger?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're just getting started. I mean, we're like, if this is the Empire State Building, we're like on the third floor. I mean, it's ridiculous. And SpaceX is what they're going to do is Elon changed the company. The company that I invested in 2022 is not the company that's today. And all those Magnificent Sevens have changed. All the big, tech companies have changed their original business model. And Tesla's doing it too. So SpaceX and XAI, which they're using a lot of information coming out of the Twitter, the old Twitter X, going into SpaceX to help train stuff. They're going to use it to put data centers into space. And then, of course, they're using it to help the cars learn how to drive. So everyone in the Tesla community feels like first they'll IPO right now there's been a merger between those two. And what they'll do is they'll IPO that so that you'll be able to buy stock in SpaceX. And then what they think they'll do is back it into Tesla. They'll just back it into Tesla. So, and then, Elon's crazy about the term X. Like one of his kids is named X. Well, U.S. Steel got bought out by Nippon Steel recently. And the funny thing was their ticker symbol, their stock ticker symbol became available, and it's X. U.S. Steel used X for their ticker symbol. So somebody acquired it like the day after it became available. And I'm sure it was Elon. And I'm sure they'll call this the X Corporation. And there'll be 3 divisions, and it'll be SpaceX, XAI, and Tesla.
So the big, huge facility that's here in Memphis that he's building and is being sued by people that live around it, because I know that they want money is what they're looking for. But what he eventually will do is take plants like that and put them all in space so they won't be causing noise pollution or any other kind of pollution.
Well, the thing is you can get 6 times the solar power if you're out there in space. You don't have to go through the atmosphere. You can launch it from the moon, so you don't have to have but about 1/6 the power to get the thing up. And you can use radiators and things to control your temperatures, because that's the 2 main things that's killing it on Earth is that they don't have enough electricity and they can't keep the thing cool enough. So space solves all the problems.
But just like Elon, he goes, oh, I know what we do. We just move it all to space.
No, it's true. I mean, they work off what's called first principles, and what they do is they just forget everybody's notions and everyone's attitudes, and they just go back to find out what are the basics here of the problem, and then let's just start all over, and they start again. I've been listening to engineers talk about how Elon pushes people, and I know he pushes people, but I think people love it, because they end up doing it.
Yeah. That's the thing. They end up being successful at everything he's thought up.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge. I thought it up. Now you make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. I know we can do this. And, other people have done that. Henry Ford they kept bringing him, he kept telling them he wanted a V8 motor, and they kept telling him how it wasn't going to work. And they came back to him 3 times and said, we can't do this. And he's like, well, why don't y'all just go try it again? And you know what? They did it.
They did it. Yep.
And it was a success. And Clyde Barrow of Bonnie and Clyde wrote Henry Ford a letter saying that his V8 was the best crime car you could have. You could outrun any police car in the country. So
if you're going to steal one, steal a Ford V8.
Yeah, for the V8.
Well, I'm certainly glad we're here. It's in the 70s today here in Memphis, and I think it's going to be staying that way for a while, hopefully. So I know you got to deal with it a little bit more, but you look like you've got it under control, and
I'm looking forward to the spring. I've got enough clothes from LF Bean, though. I could be on the board of directors.
Oh, the cover of the magazine.
Yeah.
All right, Jim Elliot in Connecticut. Okay. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Earl. See you later.
Sure, welcome.
Stay dry, stay warm.
You too. All right, so there's someplace you don't want to be, and thank goodness we're all here in the Mid-South, and things are getting better. And summer is fast approaching us, and we're going to check in with the Duckmaster at the Peabody. We had him on several months ago. The winter months and right after the first of the year, Peabody, the visitors, kind of drops off a lot, but we've noticed in the last week or so that the people staying at the Peabody has really increased. And so we're going to go to a pre-recorded segment that we did a while back to find out what being the Duckmaster is.
Do you want to do the break first?
Oh, we'll do that. We'll do that right after the break, so stay with us.
Hi, this is Dawn Grader, President and CEO of Southern Security Federal Credit Union at our new headquarters here in Collierville, Tennessee, off by Hellier Road. We are the proud presenting sponsor of the Earl Farrell for Memphis show and are looking forward to a great 2026 where some of the shows will be hosted from our new headquarters location here in Collierville.
Hello, Memphis, Mid-South. And first, I'd like to thank you for visiting with Earl Farrell Memphis today. And we want to support him just like you do. I'm George Gully, one of the sales managers at Jim Elliot Chevrolet. We've been in business here in Memphis for over 75 years. I've been associated with the company for almost 25. And I'll help you find the right car, truck, or SUV here at not only our Chevy store, but also Buick, GMC, Nissan, Subaru. We can help you find that right car. Keep watching, Earl, and come see me. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Mitch Wright.
And I'm his son, Mickey.
And we're the owners of Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And proud sponsors of the Earl Farrell for Memphis show.
We're thankful to be part of the Memphis community. We've been in business for 42 years, taking care of people and loving the people of the Mid-South.
Hi, this is Randy Wright from the Dive Shop and Dive Ventures in Memphis. We've been in Memphis over 64 years teaching people to dive, snorkel, and swim. We'd love to have you come join us and have some fun. We're also a part of the Dive Ventures group with 18 locations across the country, stretched from Phoenix to Vienna, Virginia. Please give us a call. We'll be able to take care of you at 999 South Yates in Memphis or call us at 901-763-DIVE.
Hi, I'm Brett Batterson, President and CEO of the Orpheum Theater Group in downtown Memphis. We are so pleased with our partnership with the Earl Farrell Show and very happy that he is broadcasting live from Lansky's at the historic Peabody Hotel. We're all here to make Memphis better.
He doesn't sweat. He exudes cleanliness. He doesn't wear a hard hat. He wears a halo helmet of hygiene. He doesn't just clean up the mess. He makes it ashamed of itself. He once found a Cheeto from 2003 and gave it a proper burial. His mop water is filtered through the tears of sloppy contractors. He uses Purell the way priests use holy water. His laundry detergent has PTSD. He's banned from construction sites for making everyone else look filthy. His laundry folds itself out of respect. He was voted most likely to disinfect in high school. He showers before, after, and during showers. Even Mr. Clean calls him Sir. He carries wet wipes holstered like pistols. When he sneezes, the room becomes 99.9% pure. He is the cleanest man in the world.
I don't always drink, but when I do, I disinfect the glass first. Stay spotless, my friends.
And, of course, that's Matt Dabney, who's the owner of High-Low Commercial Services, quite a quiet character, and they are very, very clean people. I had a chance to visit with Mitch Wright, another one of our sponsors this morning, and we were talking about all the collapsing roofs on boat docks in Arkansas, horse arenas, my deck, the roof of my deck. And I think the problem, and as we were talking about the weather earlier, is nobody ever expected that much snow and ice to accumulate and stay around for as long as it did. But one thing we found out at my son's place down in Mississippi, he has a water well, and water well, all the piping is that PVC pipe, it's plastic pipe, and it expands in hot weather, contracts in cold weather, which weakens the pipe, and then the couplers that hold it all together get loose. And I was at his house when he goes, "My shop is flooding. Where's the cutoff?" I said, "I don't know." We figured out that was just push the breaker box and it turns off the pump and it's not pumping water out of there. It ain't coming out. So got that solved. But have give a call to Mitch Wright and they'll come out and check all the pipes to your water well, things in the attic, because the last thing you want is a pipe to burst into your house. Doing it in a workshop is one place, but in your house is disaster. I've had it happen before. So give Mitch Wright a call. Now back to the Peabody. The folks they're almost booked for the summer. I'm sure they still have some rooms, but they're going to have a very busy year this year. And one of the reasons is the ducks at the Peabody. People just love them. And if you've never been, take your kids, grandkids, and go see them. And one of the Duckmasters, there are several, but the main one right now is Kenon, and he's a young man that's had a background in acting and drama, still is in a couple of independent movies, just came out. But a very nice guy and loves the people and loves telling the Peabody story. And here's the interview we did with him just a short while ago. Joining me now is somebody that is no stranger to the Peabody or Lansky's, Kenon Walker, who is the Duckmaster here at the Peabody. And he gets up in front of crowds 4 or 5 days a week. And he's not a shy guy at all, but he's very good at what he does.
Thank you.
And in fact, we've got a picture of him here standing up in the main lobby, welcoming everybody to the March of the Ducks. They bring them down in the morning, they take them back in the evening, and we brought our little grandson down here this past spring, and here's a picture of Kathy with Hudson, our grandchild, and meeting Kenon and holding the duck cane. It's a lot of duck canes here at Lansky's.
We do. Yeah. People come out, every once in a while, I'll sign a duck cane for somebody.
There you go. Well, everybody is so accommodating here at the Peabody, though. I mean, it is not canned at all. Every one of your, because I've heard a dozen or more of your talks, and it's basically the same, but it's not canned. You change it, and you talk about what's going on this week and who was just here. So you really make the guest feel like, you're getting some inside information of what's going on here. How did Jimmy Ogle's the one first told me about you, and then because he was a Duckmaster years ago. Mr. Penbrook was the original Duckmaster.
That's right. Correct? Yeah, 51 years he held the position.
Wow. And I think one of their biggest concerns is how do we replace Mr. Penbrook? But there have been some very good ones. Jimmy was good. You're great. How did you find out about the job, and did you apply? Did you have to come down to audition? How did that work?
Not for me. It happened very, very organically. Prior to coming to the Peabody, I was already an actor, theatrically trained actor since I was 13.
Wow.
My path eventually led me to being the lead tour guide at the National Civil Rights Museum for 7 years.
Wow.
I created the first guided tour for the Stax Museum, stayed there 6 years. Did African American history city tours with a company called A Tour of Possibilities, and my daughter's 15. So prior to me coming, I was already a theatrically trained performer, a historian, public speaker, and a father. In hindsight, those things that ended up being preparation for an opportunity they offered me when I came here. But I came to work as a concierge. That was my plan. Duckmaster was not on my radar, nor was it on the list of things I thought I'd grow up to be.
Yeah.
When I got here, there was a Duckmaster named Anthony. Anthony Petrina was the Duckmaster at that time. The assistant to him, Doug Weatherford, right?
Sure.
Doug happened to be the hotel historian. He knew who I was from my tour guide days. So when he saw me at the concierge desk, he said, I know you. You're the tour guide, Civil Rights Museum in Stax. So every day that Doug would march the ducks, he'd come over to the concierge desk and we would just talk, just picking each other's brains.
Yep.
We became friends because we both had a passion for history. 3.5 months later, Anthony's wife had a baby. He became a father. He left. Doug became the official Duckmaster. He walked up to me one day. He said, Kenon, I've been watching you. I said, Doug, for what?
What did I do?
Yeah, what's going on, man? He said, no, I really think you have what it takes in all areas to be successful at being a Duckmaster. Right? He offered me the assistant Duckmaster position. I'll be honest, I said no. I said no initially. Because I had just been promoted from the lobby concierge to being the private club floor concierge 1 week before he asked me. So I'm on a private floor, open bar, hot hors d'oeuvres.
VIPs.
VIPs. And it was just me hosting the happy hour for the club floor guests. Mm-hmm. It was nice. I said, no, Doug, I think I'll stay here, man, but thank you. He said, think about it. He came right back to me the next day. Kenon, you think about what I asked you yesterday? I said, yeah, man, I thought about it yesterday. I don't want to do it, but thank you. He walked off for a second, literally looked up at the sky, Nodded his head. Had his cane in his left hand. He twirled his cane 3 times. He came right back. Kenon, really think about this. Make a long story short, told him no 3 times. He asked me 7 times.
Wow.
I said, Doug, you're adamant about this. You see something I'm not seeing here. So I prayed about it, woke up the next morning, had a complete sense of peace about trying it, and a certain level of excitement about what maybe I could bring to the ceremony as a public speaker, as a historian, as an educator, and as a father. That was February 23rd, 2019. I accepted the assistant Duckmaster position. January 2020, pandemic's coming over. Doug's older man, he was at what they call the at-risk age.
Yep.
He left one day. The day after he left, they shut the club floor down for 2.5 years. Meaning if I had not taken that assistant, I'd have been laid off completely. Yeah. I stepped out of assistant Duckmaster into the official. As the floor I was a concierge on closed behind me, and then 2 months later, the world changed around me. So what I realized is that I was offered an opportunity to use a platform to bring some kind of hope and joy to people during the time when we all needed it.
Well, you're so good with children. And I think that's one of the outstanding things about you. I see it happen all the time. They're outside, can't see, so you can bring them around.
Right.
You sit in front of the big people.
Right.
And I think that was all part of God's plan.
Yes, absolutely.
He knew that you were going to reach the kids, the middle-aged people, the older folks, and make them all feel special and tell the Peabody story in a very special way, because there's just so much of a story to tell, and you really don't have that much time. And even though you do it twice a day, it's you want to convey the facts, but you also want to make it interesting and fun and
absolutely
and something for everybody. Who are some of the people you've met over the years, and do they always identify themselves, or do you just spot them and go, "Hey"?
Sometimes it's both. You know what I mean? Sometimes, as a matter of fact, I'll never forget. I was doing the Duck March one evening. I look over, Daryl Hannah and Neil Young are sitting at the table. So I look over, I'm like, oh, wow, okay, well, hello. You know, one day I was doing the Duck March, I look on the mezzanine, Jimmy Smits is looking down at me.
When he was here filming?
When he was here filming Bluff City Law, right? Which I ended up being on the last episode of as a bailiff that arrested Sydney, his daughter. But David Arquette's a very, very good friend of mine. I met him through some people that I met here. I didn't know what they did at the time, because when I meet someone, I don't have an agenda. So it's not like, you're a VIP.
You're not looking for something.
I'm not looking for anything. I have no agenda at all when I meet people.
They love meeting people like that because you're not after anything.
I'm not after anything. Yeah. I mean, I'm the person here to provide the service. You know what I mean? And I'm the only person officially that can put Duckmaster on his tax return. So I'm kind of in a unique position, you know?
I am the Duckmaster.
I am the Duckmaster, you know? But when you meet people, especially entertainers, who are used to providing the service for the world, and they don't have to do that when they come here. When they meet me, I get a chance to provide something they can't see anywhere else. So it puts them on the other side of that entertainer, seat. And I've been blessed to have a lot of friendships with people, from all walks of life, because of this platform and because of the charm that it brings, the history that it's a part of. But then just being genuine. I think you can feel when somebody's being genuine with you versus if they're just going through the motions. Hey, how are you? Welcome. I'm the Duckmaster. It's like, no.
A lot of people like that in broadcasting, because they have their broadcasting voice and then they have their conversational voice. And when they're two different voices, it ain't real.
Right. I try to be as authentic as possible because, again, this wasn't my plan. So I let the plan lead me.
Absolutely.
To stay present in the moment, stay in tune with who you cross paths with, and share that moment. And they might share that moment with you.
The family. I first came into the Peabody with Gary Bell's 1980-something, and it was empty, big empty room with a light bulb on a stick in the lobby, no fountain or anything else. And they just bought it and get ready to start the renovation. And it's just been amazing to see. I was telling Rob the other day as we were leaving, I said, have you been up to the Grand Ballroom yet? He said, no, I haven't. I said, we'll go next time we come and do the show. It's like going to Versailles.
Right.
This is like some European palace that people can come and stay in Memphis, Tennessee. And it's great working here. To walk into this place every day and get to work here is a privilege. I mean, we feel that way.
Yeah, not a bad place to call the office.
No. And for people that haven't been here, they think about wanting to bring their grandchildren or children down to see the Ducks. encourage them to do that because it's an experience the kids will never get over. They'll remember it the rest of their lives.
Absolutely. And the fact that I've seen kids come in maybe intimidated at first. You know, they don't know who I am. They don't know what's going on. Like, who's this guy in the Captain Crunch jacket? What's happening in here? You know, but when you can see that, okay, all right, I see you're afraid. You know, I mean, the way I love reaching the kids, especially if they're afraid at first. It's like, you know what, hey, you know, I understand there's a lot going on in here. You know, I was going to ask you to help me feed these ducks, but I don't want you to make them afraid because no one was afraid till you were afraid. There's no reason for you to be afraid. Mm-hmm. I picked you because you're you.
Yep.
Everything you need is already inside you, but I need you to believe in yourself same way I believe in you. So if you feel brave enough to come help me feed these ducks, I think you'd be happy you did it. And man, you see, I want to do it. I want to do it. Yeah, I want to do it. When you see that transformation, you know, there's something kind of magical about that because you know you just created a core memory from something genuine and still instilled in them confidence. There's nothing for you to be afraid of, man. You know what I mean? I picked you because you're you. And when the kids come back multiple times because of that one encounter.
Yep.
As a father, you know, that's it's life-changing. It's heartwarming.
Well, you treat them like people, not like little kids.
Right.
And
right.
That's many kids. That's the first time anybody's ever talked to them and didn't use the baby voice, you know. And you just talk to them like they're, you know. And I think asking them for help shows how generous they are. They won't do it if you say, "Do you want to do it?" They say, "I really need your help. Will you help me?"
Right.
They always want to come through for you.
Right. And one thing I always ask the children is, how do you feel right now? How do you feel? Because instead of me telling you how to feel, I'm asking you, tell me, how do you feel right now? Yeah. Especially if people sign their kids up to march the ducks with me. That's a huge crowd. Sometimes it could be a few hundred people, maybe even 1,000 people in this lobby. For a child to have all of these people looking at them, that's a lot of pressure. You know, some people's biggest fear is public speaking. You know, so when I asked the kids...
Did you ever have a problem with public speaking when you were a little kid?
And you know what? My mom put me in a theater camp when I was 13, you know, and kind of keep me out of trouble that summer. And improv exercises came so natural to me. That's the kind of stuff I was getting in trouble in class for doing anyway. You know what I mean?
Me too.
Oh, yeah. So when I had an outlet to express that and there was a reaction on the other side of that, that feeling of accomplishment, you know what I mean, that changed my life. So eventually... You know, I lost all fear of public speaking or worrying about how I'm being perceived because I think at one point I started operating in purpose. And then one thing you can't do is I can't control what you feel, but if I made you feel something, then whatever I did had an impact. You know what I mean? So yeah, this you know, public speaking, confidence, and when you ask those kids how do you feel, and when they take time to think about it, it's like, I feel good. I feel excited. You know what I mean? That sticks with them when this ceremony is over.
Absolutely.
You know?
They also made an impression on me whenever I did disturb the class and made them all laugh. They took me down the hall and we got the wooden paddle.
Yep.
And, it didn't stop me. That's when you know you're on a mission.
Me neither. Right. Absolutely.
Well, Kenon, you're a great addition to the Peabody. I'm glad you're here. And I think the Lord has you exactly where he wants you.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel very blessed.
And come down and see you're off on Mondays. That's why you got to come on my show today. But so you're here Tuesday through what?
Wednesday through Sunday.
Wednesday through Sunday.
Ironically, Doug Weatherford, the man who opened the door for me, he retired for 2.5 years, but then he came back out of retirement.
He couldn't take it.
You know, I mean, it's two men. It's hard to let that cane go. So he's here on Monday and Tuesdays. I'm here Wednesday through Sunday.
He does a great job. We had him on the other day.
Oh, he's a good man.
So both of you are. We'll see you again because we come in twice a week, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity, too.
You bet. Kenon Walker, everybody, the Duckmaster.